Welcome everyone to Monday Match Analysis. I'm Gill. This is a little bit different. For over 2 years I've been analyzing professional tennis matches, but without tennis I decided let's make our own tennis. Okay, the tour returns today on YouTube. This is tweenerhead Fama. You may know him for his tremendous YouTube channel, Tweenerheads, and we're gonna play a set, and then we're gonna talk it through. We're gonna watch it back together. We're just gonna kind of talk about what we're thinking, a little bit of tactics, a little bit of strategy, maybe a little bit of trash talk. Who knows? Sounds good?
A little bit, yeah. Let's do it.
All right, let's go. One set. All right, driving to the match. I'm gonna do the opposite of what players do in their pre-match interviews, you know, where they don't say anything at all and it's a useless exercise. I'll be honest. I'll open up, tell you exactly how I'm feeling right now. First of all, I have no idea how good Philip is. I know he can play, but I don't know exactly how good he is. I like it that way. So I'm completely coming into this with uncertainty. I've been hitting a lot of balls this summer, so I feel pretty good about everything. Physically, I feel pretty good. I think the thing is I haven't played matches, right? And I'm about to play, in my mind, in front of the most people I've ever played in front of. However many views this video gets, I've probably never played in front of that big a crowd. I haven't played a match in a really long time. So for me, it's going to be all about using strategies to deal with that stress, to deal with that pressure. And that's what I need to focus on to get to a point where I can play as well as I can. COVID rules, right? 6 feet apart, only one guest allowed. I left the agent at home. I left the coach at home, the physio, he's home. I brought the girlfriend.
Hi.
All right, we're ready to take in this match. First of all, Phil, we didn't record warm-ups. Did you notice anything that you wanted to try to attack?
In terms of attacking, no. When I go into warm-ups, I just try to feel out an opponent. I try to make sure that my strokes are feeling good, just to see what I feel most comfortable with that day. For you, you had good strokes, so I knew you were going to be solid. So I knew I had to just make balls to keep the rally going, which was my main goal after warm-ups. But after that, the serve, for me, when I started seeing you serve during the warm-ups, I knew you were consistent. And we talked about this a little bit during the match. But when it came to your serve, I didn't see any flat serves. So I was looking to utilize that to my advantage.
Okay. Similarly, I didn't, nothing stood out to me. Obviously it was clear right away you're a really solid player. Whenever I see the righty one-hander, I'm thinking, okay, well, let's test that. Let's serve to that side more often than not. You look really comfortable at the net. And the serve, I wasn't sure about it because it looked to me like in warm-ups you were serving about like 70%. So I just wasn't really sure how big it was going to be. So here's the first point of the match, and you're serving first on the far side here. That one was just long. And I'm off the screen, a la Dominic Thiem, apparently.
Yeah, you stand very far back.
Yeah, the return I was a little bit concerned about right off the bat. And that was a good first point by you.
That was a very good first point. I felt comfortable with that. The precedent that I made from the first point, I knew I was feeling good.
Yeah. There's an ace at 30 love. You got a service winner at 30 love. And that time I chipped the return because I didn't want to miss another return. Just put it back in play, and you did well on that first forehand. So we'll pause it there. I remember at this changeover I told you, or you know what, it was the second changeover, but immediately my concern there was you hit your spots, because I definitely prefer my forehand return to my backhand return, and you served 3 balls to my backhand there. The 1 ball you served to my forehand I didn't even touch. So you did a really good job in that game hitting your spots. I knew I was going to need to figure out my backhand return and get a better feel for that. So solid hold by you. Now I serve on the far side here. Love 1. Yeah, it got low on me.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting the kick all the time.
Yeah, but that was a tight forehand. I didn't really. That was the first point of the match where I realized, okay, my body's not really loose there because I kind of decelerated. But it did get low. It was a difficult, uncomfortable shot.
Yeah, like you can see most of my returns. Like I was just standing straight up on that one.
Yeah, well, I noticed you were blocking on both sides. And that did make me feel good. I'm not going to lie. Like, I was happy to see that.
I just missed that out wide, too. Long.
Oh, one.
Yeah. Well, on that one, my forehand was not meant to be that short, but at least I made you change direction.
I like going up the line with my backhand when I feel good about it, because for me that's something that people aren't really used to for one-handers. They're usually used to like short cross.
Right.
Yeah, I'm just blocking back everything.
Yeah. And that forehand I made. Yeah, I thought I might have missed that. When I first
that one was
hit it.
really close. Like I
It was
really
close.
didn't know whether or not that was in or out, so I gave it to you.
Yeah. And I actually thought it missed, but I gave you one back, as you'll see. Yeah.
Yeah, like that one, I didn't know whether or not I should have sliced or just played it.
Well, that's my favorite play right there. I'm testing your one-hander here, as you can see, but you know it's passing the test, and that wasn't a great miss there. My footwork.
Yeah, you're
My
standing
feet
still.
stopped on that backhand. But I'm starting to get a feel for the backhand return because you've given me enough practice at that point. Now, I remember that point. I go to my continental grip to slice it, and you come to the net, and I'm like, oh, crap. And then I had to throw up the lob. It was an excellent forehand.
Like that game for me, my forehand I felt so confident with. Like good
Yeah.
return by you, I come into net with a high slice. I should have had that volley.
Yeah, I decided to just hit it hard right at you, and it worked. You're making a lot of first serves, right? I feel
Yeah,
like,
like
you've only missed
for
two.
me it's like I said before.
Bad miss.
So for me, for my serve, I when I was a junior, I had trouble finding a good groove or a good rhythm when I was trying to find my motion. Like I never had one motion. I would try to like
Gotcha.
tweak it here and there. So when I was hitting my first serves in your game during the match, I wasn't thinking about anything. I think towards the end of the first set, I started missing my first serves a bit more. But this was a set where I felt confident in my first serve, so I felt like I was able to hit my spots quickly and effectively, for that matter.
And I'm feeling better in that game about my return, but you just played a good game there. All right. Now I'm serving on the near side.
Yeah, you're kicking out wide to my backhand on the Novak Djokovic bounce.
No, that shot I was flabbergasted. Like, that was such a bad shot. I missed by so much. That was probably my worst shot of the set. But this one isn't good either.
Because you got too cute.
Yeah,
And I said that to you.
Yes, you did. I was uncomfortable there and decided to... I mean, sometimes you try to drop shot it, and can be embarrassing.
This is where you lost the ball, right?
Yeah. So I hit the ball, and it went through the fence. It was the second time I had done that. I had done it once in warm-ups. So you're like, are you kidding me? So
I was
decided
looking at
to
you
leave
like questioning everything. I was like, really? No,
Yeah.
I don't have any balls left.
Yeah, you mentioned the ball bouncing. I'm trying to bounce the ball less. I got into that habit like recently, and I don't know why it happened, but it just did.
And I
then
think
that
that like longevity
Took away my rhythm.
really got you out of your rhythm. And that was just such a
Yes, it
good
did.
kick serve. I really didn't know what to think of it.
So triple break point. I hit the ace to save the first.
Yeah, and then I start missing.
Yeah.
I got
good depth on that forehand.
You did. And here, this is where I knew, like, love 40, 30, 40, I have a chance. Like, this is where I should make my move.
Yeah.
Good serve, and I sail like 2 straight forehands like that. I'm jumping out of my shoes.
Right. How are you feeling? How are you feeling mentally right now?
In the game, pissed.
Yeah.
In the game, pissed. Because this shouldn't have happened. I had 3 break points, and I was talking to myself too. I was like, this is a joke. And that, like, here, like,
Yeah,
wide open court, just mentally.
Yeah, you had it at the end.
I had
do
it
think
at the end.
That was the best point. That was the best point I played, probably the entire set thus far. But at the end, you had me. You got it low. I floated the half volley a bit.
Yeah, and
another free point.
And I just got pissed because I really didn't know. That made me worried. That honestly made me worried when I blew a love 40 game. And I'm like, okay, this is the downfall. But then I was thinking to myself, look, in tennis, when I get to that point, if I don't break him, that's fine. We're still on serve. And I felt good for the first 2 games of my serve.
Right. This is an important game for you. I'm now, look, that definitely relaxed me. There's no doubt about it. But if you look at my reaction here, I think I could have done myself a little good by showing some positive emotion. And you can just see I'm very businesslike, and I probably shouldn't have been. I think that it could have put me in a better place mentally if I let myself celebrate that a little bit.
I agree.
I thought,
because after a bit, I started like trying to pump myself up, and I think I do it. You might be able to see it after this game, because I knew that I was still in it. Like, okay, that was a complete lack of something. Like, I missed just something little, and I knew it wasn't my game after I missed that volley that went wide. Like, it didn't go long; it went wide. Like, I shouldn't be making that mistake.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just a matter of time. Like, okay, you still got time. It's 2-all. I don't know how Gill plays. We're still feeling each other out. We still have a lot of tennis to be played.
Yep. Okay, so important game for you here at 2-all. Again, you hit your spot there. I mean, that's a big point, I think, because you make a really good serve. I know I had to take a hand off of it.
Yeah, I was making my first serves like crazy. Okay. I remember that point so specifically, too, because I should have moved in so much quicker.
Yeah, I bounced it in front of you. Nice lob. Beautiful, Gill.
I love your reaction, too. You shake your head. I'm just like, okay, now he knows.
Yeah. Well, I'm just like, how do you hit a lob? Well, basically,
that was
I
two
tried
straight
two
lobs
touch
like
shots.
that, too.
Right. But here, I tried a drop shot and a lob. Both just went horribly. And then I didn't like that miss either at all.
Wow, holy crap. I really did make all my serves.
Yeah. Now, that was out, but...
You gave me that, didn't you?
Yeah, so you thought it was in, and that made me, of course, second-guess myself. I
watched the replay, too. I'm like, wait, I claimed that game, and that ball was probably out.
Yeah, it was out. I called it out, but I thought... Yeah, you didn't hear me, and then I thought... I thought I hit a forehand out in the... Was it my first service game?
Oh,
that
yeah.
inside-in forehand?
Yeah, the cross-court.
Yeah,
oh,
so
between
that... Yeah, but between that, where I thought I hit it out, you called it in, and then you thinking it was in, I just conceded there.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Gill.
You're welcome. All right. 2-3. I'm feeling all right, but here's the thing. I completely understand that your service games have been kind of easy, and mine have been difficult. I think early in the match, my mindset was, let's get balls in play, let's get a rhythm, let's try to shake any nerves you have out. But, I mean, up until this point, you know, we really hadn't played a long rally. Now, that right there is that's my least favorite shot. That's the worst shot you can give me, is that short backhand inside the court. I should have sliced it.
See, like that point right there, I told you right after the changeover. Like, that ball, I'm just trying to force you to play. There's no other play I have for it.
Right. I just don't think I felt confident about any target there. And then another.
And then two double faults.
Right. So that game, 2 double faults.
That's when
a
I
backhand,
knew.
A backhand error, and a volley that I should have made. That was a lapse of a game. I was feeling good on my return.
You were feeling good on the slice, too.
Yeah. So, like there.
Yeah, you gave me a ball short. I punished you for it.
Right, exactly. So, you know, you did make me pay. There, again, you made me pay. You're not missing there. So, that was a big part of why you didn't, you know, you weren't letting me back in this.
Yeah, and my, 3 straight first serves going in.
But my returns I'm happy with. Like,
yeah, they were good returns. And then you forced that.
That's a bad miss.
You forced that.
I did. That's inexcusable. I hit the center of the strings. My footwork was good, but my target was too small, so I missed it. Yeah.
Yeah, like
a very good game by you, though.
Yeah. Like, that felt clinical to me. Like, that.
Yeah, because you made
there.
every first serve. Right. You made every first serve. I made every return. But you still kind of jumped on me in every point except the point that I got back in and made the forehand error.
Even that return you put a good ball cross court to my forehand, and I still was able to utilize it and still go short cross to your forehand again, which forced you to play a very defensive ball. Yeah. And then I just came up to net because I knew you had to run all the way from the other side of the court. So you were either A, going to lob it, B, going to force something, or C, miss. Like, that was the only option after I came on in that backhand.
Yeah. So now I'm serving in my first game since you got the break at 2-3, and I'm not feeling very confident anymore. And I overhit that ball.
You had 2 good first balls, too.
Yep. Just long again. So I'm pressing here. I'm going for too much.
And even though you cut this to make it show like, okay, I just lost the point and then I'm going to serve again, no, you took your time in between points to kind of recover.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, and then the double fault.
So a double. So that's the third of the set?
Third or fourth.
Yeah.
And that was the first time you actually took advantage of a short return that I had off the slice backhand.
Yeah, but I thought most of them were pretty deep. Like, I thought your block returns, another ball overhit. You know, I thought that your block returns, they made me feel like I should be winning the point off the next ball, but really I should have just been more patient.
Just with a neutral ball, right?
Yes.
6-2 tweener head, yes.
6-2 tweener head. Overall, well, first of all, let's start with you. So how did you feel about how you played in that set?
Better than usual. For me, it's far from a flawless set. For me, there was definitely a lot of things that I could have improved upon. I think the Love 40 game that I should have made a statement beforehand, but I tried to be too aggressive on my returns. I think it wasn't until the last game that I hit a topspin forehand return into the court. So when I started just blocking back, I knew I had the opportunity to play well and play efficiently, I think is the word I'm looking for. And I thought, like, for me, it's rare for me to get all 4 first serves in and win all 4 points. So that's what really surprised me about my own game when it came to playing against you. Like, my ability to put my first serves in consistently and well.
Yeah, I mean, you were very solid. You really didn't give me much after the first 5 games, and that's easy to say. Obviously, you went on a huge run of points after I played that sloppy game at 2-3. I was upset with how many unforced errors I made off the ground. I mean, that to me was just my stress level getting to me. I haven't felt pressure in 5-6 months in a match situation, and I was really hoping that I would just be able to deal with it and play my best tennis, and I just couldn't quite do it with the errors off the ground. And if you think about the shots that I did play well, I thought I returned well. I thought my serve was pretty good. Or good enough.
It was
And
good.
I thought
it wasn't great, but it was good enough.
Yeah, it was good enough. It wasn't the reason I lost. And I thought my backhand slice, every time I hit that shot, I hit it well. If you think about those shots, especially the return and the backhand slice, it is neutral to defensive intention. And that's the shots I was hitting well. The return and serve, where I'm really just trying to start the point in a neutral position, that I hit well. The backhand slice, I'm never trying to do much with that. I'm just trying to extend the rally. That I hit well. And the serve I hit well. But anytime we were kind of in neutral baseline rallies, I don't think I played within myself. I thought I put too much pressure on myself to hit great shots. And I wasn't comfortable in the rally just kind of hanging in, extending, and waiting for my opportunity.
I did feel like you looked more confident when you were slicing. You felt more confident early on with your serve, making your serves, not even just hitting them hard, just placing them well against my backhand or my forehand. They were all kicking up. And then it seemed like you would try to do the opposite of what I was doing. Like I was like I said before, I used my first serve, create the point, try to finish it on the second. If not, play out the point. For you, you were trying to set up a ball that was too good for me to handle to then put it away.
Right, especially on the forehand side. Like when I get a forehand that I think I can attack, I'm very confident in my forehand, and I think normally when I play people, I feel like a lot of the times it's the best shot on the court. It wasn't in this match by any means, because it missed too much. So that's a shot that I generally try to do a lot with, but I needed to understand that I didn't have a great feel of it yet, and my targets were too tight. Again, I was overhitting.
Just staying grounded on your feet, and personally, that was a problem of mine when in that Love 40 game that I didn't do, that you eventually won. I was jumping at balls. I was getting too excited. I was trying to just play a good ball to win the game already. And I don't think I had that.
Right. Look, to me, I thought I don't want to take away I don't want to give us no credit whatsoever, but to me, the first 5 games, it was like pretty scratchy from both of us, and then you raised your level, and I didn't.
You seemed deflated after the 4-2 game.
The 2-3 game.
The 2-3 game.
The 2-3 game was horrendous. So yeah, I didn't recover very well from that. Well, see, after the 2-3 game again, that was a game where I returned really well, and then I didn't have any success. So that was especially deflating. Here's the thing. Here's what happened. I played a poor game, and then you played an outstanding game back to back, and that was the killer blow in the set.
I tried to keep my game consistent while you were trying to just find your rhythm.
Find my forehand.
And you couldn't find that. It took you a while, or you didn't find it at all.
Yeah, I didn't. I mean, I hit a winner at Love 40, triple at match point, but so yeah, I mean, okay, if we played another set, this would be my adjustment. If I sat down and by the way, this happened really quickly. Like I felt in it, and then I lost the set in like a flash. So I don't think I had time to process why I was losing and what was happening. But if I had like a full changeover to think about it, I would have just started playing way safer tennis. I would have told myself to rein in my targets and basically just be like, look, if Phil pushes me around the court and hits 3 winners to win the game, which, like, again, you did do that when you had to, like at 4-2. But if you do that, whatever. But I need to miss less. And especially because my return was on, that would have given me an opportunity to put a lot of pressure on you.
I think that was the number one priority for you, was just making your balls. And for me, going into the changeover after the first set, I would probably be telling myself, okay, you got away with it with the first set. Now you have to stay with it. Like, I knew that you were never going to constantly be missing. That shouldn't happen. I know that, and you know that. So when it came to sitting down and trying to refocus on my game plan, I thought I had the right game plan of being aggressive towards you. But I had to be aware of, okay, now do the same thing, stay in it, and if you have to just be aware if he starts hitting it well, you have to stay with him. Because I knew I could compete with you from a baseline standpoint and finishing it. It's just a matter of consistency after that.
Right.
And I wouldn't try to like maximize anything. I would just keep it simple to myself. I don't want to overcomplicate it.
Yeah, well, you were very calm. And I think, or at least you seemed very calm to me. And maybe that comes from like the fact that you have a lot more high-level match play experience. But, you definitely were much more within yourself and much more solid, and that's why you ended up running away with the set.
I think that's why, because I knew I had a firm grasp on the set. I knew I was in control, and I knew what I was doing was right. It took me a while to get to that point, because I don't think a lot of juniors know on a broader scale how long it takes for one to not lash out in tennis. And as a kid, I had such a temper as a kid. It took me a while to not get to the place where I am now mentally for playing tennis. So when at Love 40, when I smashed my racket into the net after I missed that volley, it's like, okay, I have to make sure that I'm not going to spiral. Like, don't let that 1 point get to you.
Right. Yeah, you did a good job of that. And it's funny because I'm someone who will watch tennis matches and, I'll critique players for making all the mistakes that I made. Like, okay, he's pressing. He's going for too much. He's not relying on his movement enough. He's not patient. But like executing it is a whole nother story. And what stress will do to you as a player is immense. And it's something that you need to practice how to deal with that stress. And, players who deal with that stress better and play their best level on a more consistent basis will just be so much more successful. But it takes practice. It takes repetition. And I think that's a good message to kind of come away from this with.
Oh, 100%. And just thinking back to it too, while we were talking about this earlier, like I was thinking about the anxiety that I'm feeling right now when I'm thinking back to that moment, like, oh my God, I could have collapsed. Oh my God, I could have choked that. Oh my God, I just choked. Like, just having those small messages come through is terrifying when you're playing a match. Imagine how the pros must feel on a daily, weekly basis, because they're actually playing for thousands and hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yeah, very true. I definitely felt like I definitely felt the weight of like, okay, this is, I actually said before, I don't know about you, but however many views this video gets, it'll probably be the most people who have ever watched me play.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, if I've never had 1,000 people watch me play tennis.
It's fun.
I think you have. I mean,
I
our
have.
channels are,
I
our
actually
channels.
have. People have seen me play tennis before, but they've never seen me play at a competitive level. They've seen me hit with pros. They've seen me hit with
Yes.
people, which is a very different vibe than actually composing a point.
And it's
Very
usually
different.
more flattering, right?
They make me look good, and that's hard to
Right.
do.
No, but that goes back to the stress thing. When you're hitting with someone, that's when you look good at tennis.
Yes. Yeah, 100%.
And then as soon as it's two people trying to break each other with pressure, it's a totally different game.
Yeah. I totally agree.
Yeah. All right, so this was tons of fun, and hopefully we can do it again sometime.
I would love to do a second set rematch. That would be a lot of fun.
I agree wholeheartedly, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks again for doing this.
No problem, Gil. I really appreciate it. Take care, guys.